What up guys, it's Maddie. Welcome back to Just for Fun. We're going to do something a little different, and we're going to do a set review for Oath, the new set that's just being released. I know it's been released a couple days or whatever, a week, however you want to call it, in paper, but I don't play paper, so it is not released to me until it is out on Moto. So some announcements were made recently. Banned and restricted announcement, I didn't address that. Splinter Twin is banned, which is sad. Let's pour out some of our 40 for Splinter Twin. I didn't think it was an unfair deck really, because it's, you know, you can interact with it with the combo in so many ways, but I mean, I guess they said it's just too consistent, and you know, it got the ban hammer. I'm not, in general, I'm not a fan of bans. I think you should just make everything legal and let the gamers sort it out themselves, until it becomes like really horrible. I don't know, it's kind of hard to say, but I don't think Splinter Twin needed to be banned, just like Birthing Pod didn't need to be banned, but I'm glad it was, because it was freaking annoying to play against. Summer Bloom was banned, which I think is a little weird, because the problem card in that deck is really Amulet of Vigor. If the lands don't untap, it doesn't matter how many you're playing a turn, so I'm not sure that's even going to really be that effective in getting rid of that deck. They should have just banned Amulet, because it does nothing in any other deck anywhere, so nobody would have missed it, aside from the people playing that deck. Pauper, Cloud of Fairies is banned. You know, any free card is kind of unfair, so that makes sense. I mean, it's a free 1/1 flyer, but still it allows you to cheat, and with mana, and the Familiars deck is really the problem there, so whatever, you know. Let's move on from there. Magic Online announcement. Now you're gonna have to like tap All Annoying and do that thing where you click the mana for every spell that has Colorless in it, and that is gross and obnoxious, but it is what it is, so we'll just have to deal with it. Now let's move on. I'm going to break this up by colors. I took copious notes to share with you guys. So let's start off here. Deceiver of Form. It's cute. It could be fun. But it seems kind of like Win-More. Like, if you're already at 7 mana and playing an 8/8 and you're untapping with the 8/8, I'm not sure, and you have other creatures, like, a lot has to go right for this to even do anything, and at that point, like, why don't you just play something that wins? Like, I don't know. It's not for me. Eldrazi Mimic is, it slots right into the Devoid aggro deck. Great, awesome card, love it. Art looks like some kind of bizarre cricket Anteater of Doom, but Endbringer is like another one of these creature planeswalker kind of multiple ability deals. It's kind of like Staff of Nin on a stick, right? Because it pings, it draws you extra cards. It does a lot. I think that could be pretty good as a finisher in a control deck, you know, but then again, it does suffer from dies to Doomblade, so there's that. This card is an asshole. Kozilek, I hate this card so much. If I open one, I'll keep one. Might play with it. Probably not going to go out of my way to play this card, because I think it's bullshit. It's too much. Like, first of all, if you cast it, even if it gets countered, you're drawing, you know, somewhere up to 7 cards. That's insane. Because it costs 10, it's very likely the last thing in your hand, so it's very likely that it's going to draw you 7, even if it gets countered. So that's insane. I mean, I guess for 10 mana, what do you expect? Like, but still. Then as a 12/12 with Menace, it has to be blocked by 2 things to even... So, like, it's hard to chump block. So, in a way, it almost has Annihilator. And it protects itself. So, you get, let's say you get 7 cards now, you know, and you can discard cards to counter removal spells. Like, it's really hard to get rid of. Card is too powerful. I don't like it. Kozilek's Pathfinder seems like a good finisher in Pauper. I like it. It's pretty neat. It's not overpowered, but it's not bad either. Matter Reshaper seems like it was designed to go into Aristocrats or whatever, and it could be a decent card in that, but I feel like there's better stuff than just like a 3/2 for 3. It doesn't really... I mean, it has a death trigger, but I don't like cards that don't have, like... It doesn't have an ETB trigger or some kind of value in combat. It's just dork. Like, meh. This card, on the other hand, smashes balls. This is a fucking rude card. That was my note. Like, Reality Smasher is... It's just insane. It's like a great mid-range threat in any deck. You know, it slots in almost anything. These colorless only cards in Modern, for example, give you a lot of incentive to play, like the Innistrad cycle of lands that do things like Drown Yard and Gavany Township and that Wolf Run, those cards, because the colorless matters. You know, Cavern of Soul. There's a lot of cards that utility lands that become better because of these colorless cards. And this card is just, I mean, it's really hard to get rid of. It has like auto countering built into it, so it's like quasi hexproof trample haste for 5. So they have to either have something bigger than it, 2 things, and then you're getting value, or removal spell, you're getting value because they're discarding a card. So the only real defense to this is to counter it or have something bigger than it in play already. So it's pretty hard to deal with card. So I mean, it's good. It's maybe even bordering on overpowered in my opinion. I don't know. So definitely something to look out for. Spatial Contortion. So I guess Nameless Inversion reprint, a little weird. But Colorless, which has plus and minus to it, it can go in more decks technically. But yeah, that's a very versatile card, great and limited. This card, Thought Knot Seer, I had to read it twice because I was like, are you for real? This card is crazy good. So it's like Brain Maggot and Tide Hollow Sculler in a sense. It's like a big one of those, which makes it better on its face because it's harder to get rid of. But with this, you exile that card and it's gone. Like, if they kill it, they don't get that card back, they draw a card. So like, you cast this, you exile their removal spell, then they got a 4/4 on the table to deal with, and even if they do, they draw a card, but that doesn't mean that they you know, they draw back the removal spell. You know, they draw a random card. So this is way better than that. This card is really powerful. I like it. And Warping Whale. Warping Whale, everybody made a big stink about. Like, it seems to be popular on Facebook and whatnot, but I mean, it's cool, it's cute in that it's versatile, but none of the effects are worth 2 mana and a card. I mean, they're worth maybe like 1 mana and half a card. So I don't really... If it said choose 2, then I would be more about it. Like, then it would make more sense. But I don't really think it's that great as people are saying it is. Alright, so that wraps up the colorless. We'll move on to white next.